February 12th, 2026, a Ukrainian FPV drone targeted a Russian soldier patrolling alone in open terrain. The Russian soldier, noticing the drone's approach, fired at it but failed to shoot it down. No bullets hit the drone due to its quick maneuvers. Many Russian soldiers continued to be targeted by drones. The Signum Battalion carried out a comprehensive drone attack operation, detecting and targeting Russian soldiers in the Lyman and Sumy regions. Look at the soldiers' helplessness in the face of drones. Is there really any chance of escape from drones? Once again, we are in one of the most vulnerable areas of the front line in the Donetsk region. A Ukrainian FPV drone is conducting a quick reconnaissance. Before long, it is detected by a Russian military drone. There is nowhere for the soldier to hide or take cover here. The drone made a quick maneuver and turned back toward the Russian soldier. Look closely. The soldier is firing at the drone, but again, none of the bullets hit it. And finally, the soldier became the drone's target. So, what kind of weapon do you think is needed to effectively shoot down a drone? This time, a Ukrainian FPV drone operator is searching for Russian units in the Lyman region. This terrain is full of swamps. The deceptive shadow of the snow hides the swamp. A soldier who fell into this trap entered the drone's target. Look at the load he is carrying. Moreover, he is stuck in the swamp. The rapidly advancing drone hit the soldier directly. Watch this attack very carefully. An FPV drone entered an abandoned factory. Russian soldiers now prefer to take up positions in areas like this rather than in trenches. After circling around for a while, the drone spotted a Russian soldier trying to hide by lying motionless on the ground. But the soldier's position was quite bad. Why did this soldier decide to stay in such a place when he could have hidden somewhere better? Why do you think Russian soldiers usually choose to remain motionless when faced with drones? This attack, however, is quite peculiar. A fire appearing inside an abandoned house caught the attention of a Ukrainian FPV drone. When the drone came to investigate, it was suddenly attacked by a Russian soldier emerging from inside. Unable to shoot down the drone from such close range, the soldier became the target himself. A Russian soldier was caught by a drone on the front lines in the evening darkness. Seeing the drone suddenly in front of him, the soldier didn't know what to do and tried to flee in a panic. The drone carefully followed the Russian soldier. The soldier, who tried to hide behind a tree, couldn't escape becoming the drone's target. A Russian armored vehicle was spotted advancing toward a Ukrainian military position in the Pokrovsk region. Although not entirely clear, it appears to be an armored personnel carrier. It is a fairly old model. If you know more about it, please share in the comments. After being tracked for some time, the armored vehicle was completely disabled by 2 drone strikes. No soldiers exited the vehicle. The next target for the FPV drone is a wheeled self-propelled artillery weapon. As the drone prepares to attack the howitzer's weakest point, a Russian soldier emerges from inside the vehicle and flees. Did you see the soldier who escaped? He got away by sheer luck. Just one drone attack was not enough to disable this armored vehicle. A second attack was carried out. The second drone targeted the exit hatch, and now the third drone moved in to deliver the final blow. The howitzer's exit hatch was now open, and the drone flew directly inside with explosives. The armored vehicle was destroyed by the explosion. Russian soldiers continue to be constantly targeted by drones on the front lines. Still helpless against drones, Russian soldiers are unable to defend themselves in any way. With thousands of kilometers of front lines and vast open terrain, soldiers targeted by drones have nowhere to hide or take cover. A Russian mechanized unit advancing toward Ukrainian positions encountered unexpected resistance. The Ukrainian 3rd Assault Brigade launched an attack with dozens of drones to neutralize the Russian assault group. But did you notice the extra armor on the outer perimeter of the armored vehicles? This provides effective defense against drones. That's why a large number of drones are needed. However, the goal here is not to completely neutralize the armored vehicles, but to repel the attack. These additional structures, referred to as turtle tanks, actually serve a single purpose: to detonate FPV drones before they reach the main armor. This is why the first drone strikes you see in the video fail to stop the tank. The metal plates absorb the explosive force of the drone, protecting the personnel inside the vehicle and critical systems. However, this armor comes at a significant cost. It restricts the tank's mobility, narrows its field of view, and prevents the turret from rotating. The war continues unabated, not only on land, but also in the sky. Ukrainian drones have disabled Russian reconnaissance drones used for reconnaissance purposes on the front lines. The systematic downing of reconnaissance drones in this manner spells disaster for the Russian military. Having lost their eyes in the sky, Russian commanders cannot see the battlefield, direct artillery fire, or detect Ukraine's counterattacks. The Ukrainian Azov Battalion is conducting an operation on a house in the Russian Donetsk region where Russian soldiers are positioned. They are responding with heavy firepower against the Russian soldiers. Ukrainian soldiers are also seen firing from inside the house. Look closely, the soldiers are throwing grenades inside. However, the defense of the Russian soldiers inside is also quite strong. The fighting continues to intensify. No matter how hard the Ukrainian soldiers try, they cannot push back the Russian soldiers, and drones are being deployed. High explosive drones were sent against Russian soldiers. Ukrainian soldiers withdrew and left control of the operation entirely to the drones. As violent explosions leveled the house, Russian soldiers were unable to respond. Russian soldiers did not survive this attack. In the skies above the town of Huliapol in the Zaporizhzhia region, a Ukrainian Air Force MiG-29 Mu-1 targets a Russian FPV drone launch site, one of the Russian army's biggest threats. The first AASM Hammer bomb pierces the roof of the building where Russian units are hiding at high speed. However, due to a technical malfunction, it fails to detonate. But there is no room for error for the Ukrainian Air Force. Within seconds, a second bomb arrives and hits the building squarely, leveling it. This precision strike takes out dozens of Russian drone operators and their stockpile of drones in the area in a single move. Many Russian military positions in the same area were again targeted by the same attacks. Numerous buildings housing Russian soldiers were struck by warplanes. These are Russian artillery units. In just 1 week, drones belonging to the Ukrainian Signum Battalion disabled more than 30 Russian artillery units. FPV drone operators specifically target the barrel section because artillery weapons damaged in this area cannot be repaired. These weapons, which have been causing heavy damage to Ukrainian defense positions in the Pokrovsk region with artillery fire for a long time, are being neutralized one by one. Scenes where a few $100 FPV drone takes out a $1 million howitzer are the biggest paradox of modern warfare. The Signum Battalion just this week destroyed 30 artillery units, doubling the logistical and operational costs of Russia's Pokrovsk operation. Russian artillerymen are now trying to hide to protect themselves from drones rather than firing. But there is no escape when the barrel is aimed. Ukrainian forces rendered Russian logistics vehicles ineffective one by one, especially around the Donetsk and Sumy regions. Vehicles carrying new soldiers and ammunition to the front became targets for drones. Moreover, these vehicles had no defense against drones. Cross-border movements in the Sumy region and intense fighting in Donetsk have stretched Russia's logistics network to breaking point. Ukrainian operators are turning this strain into an opportunity. These burning wrecks abandoned by the roadside are not just a loss of vehicles for Russian soldiers. They also mean hunger, lack of ammunition, and a collapse in morale. The most striking detail in these attacks is that the targeted vehicles have no active defense against drones, no signal jammers, no physical protective shields. Russia is compromising on security as it tries to quickly get its logistics vehicles to the front lines. However, for Ukraine's high-resolution, camera-equipped FPV drones, these unprotected trucks become the easiest targets to take down. A single drone strike can blow up an ammunition truck, destroying not just one vehicle, but an entire unit's weekly ammunition supply. Why do Russian forces keep making the same mistakes and sacrificing so many vehicles to drones? Russian forces retreated to defend the territory they hold as winter arrived. Ukrainian forces seized this opportunity to intensify their attacks, because drones targeting stationary positions now make Russian soldiers easier targets. Do you think they will be able to take back Ukrainian territory? How likely is that?